And here we are.
All right, it's another Friday and another Q&A with Alan and Marshall. So I'm Marshall Atkinson.
I'm Alan Howe with Easiway.
And welcome to our little show. So I think this is getting better every week. What do you think, Alan?
I hope it is. I have a good time doing it. I look forward to it. So I hope it is. I see people are popping up already. That's great.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Now, remember, what's the name of this show? It's Q&A. Okay.
Exactly.
That means we need your questions. We need your comments. Please, if you don't have a question, just leave a comment. Tell us who you are, where you're watching from, what city, what's the name of your business, that kind of stuff. If you don't have a question, at least do that. That's the bare minimum, don't you think?
Absolutely. Because I think we need to we know who's on watching and not seeing anything, because on my other phone, I'm seeing everybody pop up.
Right.
So we know.
And what's funny is this is the first week that Alan's actually turned his audio off before the show started.
Actually, you didn't see. It was slightly on a little bit. I had to turn it down just as we started. So I still don't get it.
Right. Okay. No. So anyway, I think I don't see any questions yet, but we've got Kisa watching. So good morning.
Morning, Kisa.
Charles was watching. Sam's
New
Mexico.
Sam.
Thank you so much for commenting and being part of our show. Get your questions in, guys. Get your questions in.
Let us know what's happening out there, how you're doing, and what's new and exciting. Sam, how's Lansing? Sam Bollinger lives right in Lansing, Michigan, which is always interesting in Michigan.
Lansing, that's where Michigan State is, right?
That's where Michigan State is, and the state capital. So there's always a lot going on.
Right. Cool.
So, yeah.
So we have some prepared stuff to talk about. So while you guys are formulating your really deep and impactful questions, right? Remember, write those. We have some that we've already queued up. So these are really kind of, I'd say, more discussion points than questions.
Agreed.
But here's our first one. Retail brands going bankrupt. I don't know if everybody here watching has been paying attention to the news. I've been trying to tune that out just because I can't stomach it. But
yeah,
some big brands are going bankrupt. Gold's Gym, right, went bankrupt earlier this week, and some other people. And there's a lot of talk of Sears and JCPenney's and big retail brands that are going out, department stores going bankrupt. So what does this mean? Okay, so the reason I wanted to bring this up is because you might be doing business with these folks, but maybe you're doing business with other people who are super struggling right now, who may be filing for Chapter 11. Mm-hmm. So what does this mean? This means if you have account receivable problem, that means you're not going to get paid. That's what that means.
And if you're lucky enough to get paid, it's going to be penny on the dollar, not pennies, penny on the dollar.
Right. So now is the time, if you haven't already, 100% of the money for the order up front before you do anything.
Absolutely.
Before you do the art, before you waste a minute on it, you need to be getting the money up front. And this is the time. And why? It's because guess what? You are not a bank, right? You're not a bank. And I think the lesson here is really let's just review Amazon, right? Can you order from Amazon with a PO?
You can't order a pizza online.
No, you need to pay up front. That's where we need to be. Your customers have a Visa card. Okay.
Absolutely.
They can pay you, right? It's just about how you frame it. And you're a small business. Is coronavirus is the perfect reason right now to be taking money up front. And she says, look, we're struggling. We're trying to get back on our feet. We're going to need money up front now. And here we go. Right.
Yep. And
that's what you say. And here's the thing. I know a lot of people do shipping. I know a lot of people have extra stuff going on. Okay. Here's a real tip. Take, a box of shirts weighs about 34 pounds, right? From where you live, ship it the furthest away that you possibly can, the other way across the country, And with UPS or FedEx or whoever you use, how much is that going to cost you to do that? And divide by the quantity of the shirts. And then you're going to add, it's going to be 40 or 50 or 60 cents or whatever it is. Add another dime or 15 cents to that, and then add that to the cost of shirt. And then you can say it's free shipping, because that's how everybody else is doing it.
Exactly. Somebody is paying freight somewhere in there. And, whether you're an end user buying from a vendor, freight is in there somewhere. It's just not going away. It's never free. You're getting it somewhere. So just build it in. Nobody wants to see that line item, and just do it.
Yeah. Right. So, now's the time. So we have a whole bunch of comments and questions.
Good
so
job.
Let's get to those real quick. So Sam says, Spartan country.
It is that. Michigan Spartans.
What's the Spartans cheer? Is it Go Spartans?
I don't know. I didn't go there. My brother went to Michigan State.
Is it This is Sparta, like from 300?
I am Spartacus. I don't remember.
Nothing too crazy there. Chuck Nall says, we'll post COVID-19 economy speed conversion to digital away from screen printing.
How you doing, Chuck?
The online stores, right? Online stores. How are people doing print on demand, right?
Yeah.
Print on demand is digital, right? Unless you're doing a quantity, right? Print on demand is digital. So the answer is yes. So you need to be looking at that. And also you could be configuring. So in your queue of your digital printer is the design that you need to print. It doesn't even have any order entry. So it's design number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It shows up right there. It's going to be on a sport gray medium. Somebody pulls that shirt, you're printing, it's in a bag, it's out the door. Simple, right?
Yep.
So you need to work on that process. And that's how people are doing it. There's all types of tools, and there's a SMAKE program that you may have seen at a trade show, which is super incredible. So there's a lot of things going on. So I would be looking at that digital, yes. Right?
I think, I agree. And we've talked about it before, about the unit of one. And that's what makes the technology that is still very new. I don't even want to say it's in its infancy, but it's still the new baby of hybrid technology combined with screen. I don't think it's going to go away. It's going to be a new normal. And this might just accelerate it a little bit. I'm one of those guys, screen I don't think will ever go away totally. At least not in my lifetime. And I'm older, so it's not far away. But but we do have to start looking in unit of one.
Yeah. My buddy Ray says National Bank of Nope. That's great.
Hey, Marky, man, we got the Michigan support going on. Ray's in Clio, just about 8 miles from me. I have actually passed Ray on the road before, and he's honked the horn at me.
So, did he throw a banana peel at you on the way?
Well, I didn't see him because I'm clueless and I don't watch things. He's had to text me. So
that's great. Charles says we've made the switch from 50 to 100% up front. So good job, Charles.
Way to go.
Hey, Charles, was there any pushback? Leave a comment. I want to know. And if there was, what was that comment?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Daryl says, good morning from Monterey Bay, California. Salinas, John Steinbeck country. By the way, Daryl is 100% money up front, and his minimum is 144 pieces.
Oh, you got to love that. Way to go, Daryl.
Yeah, pure gold from Daryl. Sam says, I'm happy to report that I've seen a lot of shops throughout the Midwest have started opening back up. We're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Small scale, small crews, but starting back up. Great to see. Go green, go white. I guess that's the cheer.
That way, yeah, probably. And that's the Spartan color. So
right. Keith says, good morning. He's in Northern California, Sacramento. So anyway, so I think that was a pretty good little topic. And
good. Yeah.
Post more comments about that if you want. We can talk about that forever. But I just think it's a real lesson here about what's going on. And you're going to see, I have the privilege of helping Mark Coudray with his Catalyst program, and I'm on his Catalyst calls every Thursday. And he's been talking a long time about how the longer this pandemic event lasts, the more and more small businesses are going to fail. And Absolutely. These are not just our community, these are just, that restaurant or that bar or that gym or that whatever. And it's because they just don't have the cash to pay their rent, pay their bills, keep things going. And it's just going to be easier for them just to call it quits. And I was watching, I forget the show. I was watching some show about restaurants, and a lot of restaurateurs, when what they're looking at is, because of the investment it takes to keep a restaurant open, especially more of the high-end stuff, what they're looking at is let's just close up, and then November, December, January, we'll just start a new business.
Yeah.
And because it's a cost-benefit ratio to them, it's the risk, right? Because nobody right now in a lot of places, a restaurant, you can go, but they're going to only allow 25% occupancy. So that's great, but a restaurant can't survive on that. So, Hey, Jack says, be safe, use Easiway Systems. A little shout out for you there.
Well, Jack Grover, I know who that is. Jack Grover are the names of two dogs for Rick Christian, an Easiway rep up in New Hampshire. Rick, thank you for tuning in. So Jack Grover is his two dogs.
And David says the smaller customer is the only one complaining. Business customers get it. So here's the thing. Not everyone is a good customer. I say this all the time with my coaching clients. Not everyone is a good customer. We want to be profitable, right? Do your 80-20, right?
Yep.
20% of your customers give you all of your money. 80% of your customers, those pain in the ass people, that's working for free. Like, we need to call those folks out, right?
Yeah, and just don't be mean to them. I mean, give them something to go. Give them your competitor's number. Yeah.
Keith says switch to 100% upfront after Shirt Lab Portland, right?
Yep, absolutely.
That was a great event, by the way. I loved it. Charles says we've only had one so far saying we didn't used to pay all up front, and we just stated, well, we've changed our policy since your last order, and they didn't say anything more about it.
Yeah.
So there, you can do it.
And it comes down to, are you a valued partner of them? Have you shown your value? And it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. We also had a senator ordering signs, try to push us into starting on his order before payment, and we held our ground until he paid. Good job, Charles. Let's whip those politicians into shape.
Absolutely. What? I can't believe you didn't trust a senator.
Here's the perfect opportunity to say, hey, I'll start on this as soon as I get my PPP money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just kidding.
And you know what? And that shows too. It doesn't matter who you are. Man, it's got to be Chuck. It's not creative until it's paid.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, and here's also a powerful tip: 100% upfront combined with profit first. If you're using profit first with 100% upfront, man, that's the Autobahn to financial success right there. But
absolutely.
All right, so let's get to our next topic. It's going to be a good one. Which one is it? This one. Money is cheap. Is it really?
Yeah.
Right. You got the PPP loan. You get 1%. Whatever. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. We want to talk about this a little bit because there's a lot of things going on right now. Yeah. And there's opportunities, but there could be some landmines. So what are your thoughts on this, Alan?
Well, how we came up with this as we were talking, there are still, even through this, we are seeing some capital equipment being sold. I know of some clients that have bought them. I know one that's about ready to pull the trigger on an auto reclaim. And there's a couple ways on it. They're first looking into the crystal ball about 3 months ahead going, I'm going to capitalize as we start coming out of this. We're at the bottom of the trough, they feel, and they're going to go there. And it's either for one, labor savings, two, they're going to capitalize on their competition that may not be around. So they're going to make the investment. But when it comes to, is money cheap? If we're buying, and I'm not a financial wizard. I was actually talking to my buddy Dave Harding at DCA Lease, and he had some great insights on that. He goes, money is cheap. If you're looking at a house, a car, yeah, interest rates are a lot lower. Now would be the time to buy if you're looking at that. When it comes to commercial, he said it might be down a percent and a half, whether it's from a bank or a lease. And with the banks, they have just become so strict. You've got to have gold credit. So is money really that cheap right now? You've got to be looking more about it of why are you going to make that? I don't think it's bad. I think the strong
excuse me,
bless you.
I use my elbow.
Yeah. And then even on, I was talking to Mitch Kindle at Edward Jones. It's a guy I've known. He handles some of my IRAs. And we were just talking about his business. I've known Mitch since he was 12 years old. And he said what's happening, I guess some people, you can pull money out of your 401k, some things, and there's a 3-year forgiveness on some of them where you can pull it out. You have 3 years to put it back. That's not a bad thing. Make sure you know that, because you don't want to get hit afterwards on it and get that money back. So it's not just you can pull it out. You need to just know these little landmines going on. Is it cheap? It sounds good up front. It still might be good, but do your homework on it.
Yeah, I think it's really important that we talk to our financial professionals, your accountant, your bookkeeper, your investment strategist, anybody like Dave. Is Dave watching right now? If you are, please leave a comment.
I don't see him. He was, working from home, and his daughter Lily was on his lap, so he might not be able to right now. Right. Dave just had another baby, so yeah, him and his wife. So yeah,
it's funny how those things work out, right?
It does. But he a lot of it, what he's still financing. He said there are people that are buying equipment, new equipment. I guess in California, a sign company who farmed out all their screen printing is seeing a bunch of screen printers around him not coming back, and he's going to pick up all that market. He's going to do his own, and he's going to pick it up. These are people looking, for what you call, Marshall, the next normal. And right. I don't think that's bad. I think that's smart, because we know at the bottom of the trough, coming back up, there is opportunity for clients, resources, and people. Yeah,
I couldn't agree more. So another thing we should be thinking about as business owners and professionals is, of course, we're focused on what's got to ship today for working, right, or next week or whatever. But what do you think's going to happen in August? Or how are you going to be getting prepared for this holiday season, right? What are your customers going to be doing? What is the new normal, going to be like, the next normal? Let's use my phrase, right? Mm-hmm. What is that going to be like? And if we're planning on that right now, right, your competition is still in the mud, right, with just trying to survive, and you're thinking about holiday bundles and packaging for customers and you're thinking about building online stores, and you're thinking about, helping people with where they might be. You're going to be further down the road from everybody else. And that's going to be quite the competitive advantage. And right now, in your area, your county, your city, state, whatever, it depends on where you live and how, condensed everything is. There are other shops that are going to go out of business because they are horrible business people, right?
Yeah.
Or they didn't prepare or whatever, right? And so there's going to be some leverage that you're going to have to buy them out, buy their equipment,
get their key people
and that kind of stuff. So there's going to be some opportunity right now. So if you've always wanted to upgrade to a computer to screen system, or buy your first manual, or your first auto, or maybe you need another dryer or an air compressor or whatever, now's the time for that, because there's going to be some really great opportunities. I can tell you from dealing with my Shirt Lab partner, Tom, he's bought, 5 or 6 shops in the last several years, and he has tons of equipment that's just sitting in a corner because he just buys the whole thing and he cherry picks through and uses the things he wants. A lot of people that do that will tell you it's better just to get the thing you want than buy everything.
I know Tom was telling me he just bought the whole thing on a lot of times, and then just cherry pick, again, because he wanted one piece of equipment, bought the whole thing, resold the rest
Mhm.
online. So
Yeah. So, maybe you don't have the disposable cash like Tom does. So, Chuck says capital equipment that cuts costs will be more in demand rather than machines that expand capacity. Used print machines are available everywhere, cheap.
absolutely.
So this is all a time study, right? And Chuck's exactly right. So how are you doing? How can you do things faster? How can you reduce your labor? So automated screen room equipment. So that's your washer, that's decoder, exposure unit, CTF,
auto reclaim,
auto reclaim, right? That's going to be great.
Screen.
And so you got to map that out. What does that mean? And then if you're going into that, before you really take a deep dive, ask people who have that same equipment or similar equipment. How does it work for them? Where they have bought it again? What chemicals? What problem? If it's an automated reclaim thing. Hey, has the pump failed yet? How easy was it to get a pump? Right? Because what happens is if that thing gets debris and stuff sucked up into it, good luck getting that cleaned out. You got to replace the whole pump, right?
Yeah.
So where is that part? Right. And is it a foreign made thing where they got to order it from another country, or is it like you got one down the street and you can get the parts for it? So,
right. What's the reputation of the manufacturer? Are they still around? And I see it a lot in auto reclaim. You know what? The machine may be working well, but it still comes down to any capital equipment. What happens after the sale? Where's the service at?
Are there service checks?
Yep.
Right. I mean, because we don't have time. Right. We don't have time to fix it. And I'm not naming any manufacturers here because I don't like doing that publicly, but I've had issues with equipment and it was just such a challenge that we eventually we switched to a different manufacturer. Right. And just because he couldn't service their own equipment, it was ridiculous. So,
and Chuck's right on the used equipment on presses and stuff. There's going to be a lot out there. Dave Harding and I were talking about this, and he made the point. He goes, Alan, you were there, so was I. This is the playbook, the 2008 coming out of the recession playbook. He says it's playing out exactly the same so far. So
you want some advice? If you weren't in business then, talk to people who were.
Yeah. And I don't know how many people know Chuck now. He is with Easiway. And do you know Chuck?
I don't.
Marshall?
I don't.
Chuck,
sorry. We should go have a beer.
Chuck would do that. So, Chuck lives in Florida. Chuck used to own Remember Clinton Machine, and that Chuck was part of that group and the driving force. Been around a while. He's come through. He's been to the mountain. He's seen behind the curtain. So just a wealth of knowledge. Appreciate you. Appreciate you coming on, Chuck. And
hey, he's got a question.
Yeah.
Will more small shops use at-home employees than before? Art, admin, accounting? That's a good question because I think for the time being, where everybody's still sheltering in place, this is going to happen. But what you could also see is an increase in service-based companies where we're trying to eliminate payroll. So companies like Graphic Source for Art, or maybe there's an accounting firm that could be doing this stuff, or admin, virtual assistants. I know a lot of people use that, and there's some people like Mike Chong and Jonathan Tynes. They have an entire support crew in other countries because the labor is so cheap, right? So I know Mike uses. He has a virtual assistant that answers his phone for him, and he only has calls. They go through a process, and you have to be qualified to actually talk to Mike. So there's a process he has where calls that are important get forward, and the rest, stay in the queue, and it gets handled a different way, right? So I see definitely there's tons of technology out there for this. There's people that can help you with that, and it's about eliminating the expense. And of course, when you do that, what do? That's more profit, right? So
yeah. And I think more at home, we're seeing that in your sales. A lot of companies, almost everybody knows, Zoom was unknown before this. Everybody knows Zoom. Everybody knows how to use that, or Microsoft Teams. And I think it's going to happen in sales. I'm going to use more video before I go out traveling, just because it makes sense. Why have the expense?
So let's talk about Zoom real quick, Alan. So I do my coaching calls with Zoom.
Yep.
And I use Zoom all the time. I have a pro level account, which is good for me because it's just me. I haven't upgraded to business yet because you pay for 10 licenses.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a problem with Zoom because if I want more features, right, I have to 10x my cost, which is just ridiculous for me. So actually today I am trying out the Google Meeting platform, which is free.
we like free.
I love free. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try that out and see it. And then the other thing is I'm testing out an app called Fireflies, because one of my coaching things I do when you are a coaching client of mine, I record the calls and I do transcriptions. And I actually have to manually link the recording and the transcription service because they don't talk to Zoom.
Right.
I've actually found a thing called Fireflies that actually does the transcriptions. And they do it with Zoom and Google Meeting. And so I'm trying to see if that's going to work for me. And it automatically sends it to my clients. So Marshall doesn't have to do anything. So automation is the key. So if you can find this stuff, I recommend that you get this stuff done, because if we can drop an expense, if we can drop an employee, if we could do things faster and your customers are happier, it's a win all around. And there's tons of stuff out there. So spending some time researching is something I think everybody should do. And I personally, I don't do enough of it, right? I'm so busy with all the other, stuff that I'm working on that I don't do enough of this thing. So I highly recommend that. So we got some more things. Let's, by the way, Ron says, bless you, Marshall. I guess, Alan, you don't get one.
Ron hates me.
Right. Jack says, now's a great time to reevaluate each department in your business. We need to work smarter coming back from COVID-19. I know tons of shops that are reopening right now, and the deadwood employees aren't making the cut. And this includes managers. This includes leaders, salespeople, customer service reps. That person who was always a pill, right, that just had a crappy attitude, they're not making the cut.
On that, I think, and not to be, I don't want to minimize it, but, I think with employees, it's easier to reevaluate that. What I'm not seeing as much as maybe I would like to, maybe because I work in that space.
Yeah.
I am not seeing people looking at their processes. What's my print process? What's my reclaiming process, and reevaluating. Right. And now is the time to start doing that.
Yeah.
Even though your reps, your consultants are not traveling, Zoom is great. Everybody has a camera on their phone. Let's take a look. Let's start formulating some stuff.
Right.
And, we need to start looking the whole ball of wax on it.
Yeah.
Marketing, employees, production.
Sure.
So,
hey, to answer your question, Chuck, I archive everything. I use Evernote. I throw everything into Evernote, and I share the Evernote page with my clients. And by the way, Ron said that you didn't sneeze yet. So you get a bless you if you sneeze, I guess.
Oh, okay. That's what it was.
That's what that was. Sorry. Okay, we're not that aware of what's going on. So.
I feel better. I would hate to be on Ron Goodwin's bad list and all that. Such a great guy. So.
Yeah. So for that, he's always having a good day. So maybe if that happens, it's a bad day.
Well, like I said, when he said that to you, there was part of me, I was choking back some tears there, bud. So no.
All right. So let's unpack the next thing, which is we alluded to it earlier. Chapter coming.
One thing, Marshall. One thing too. I'm sorry. I'm going to call someone out. Adam McCauley from Sandlot Sports is watching. Just so we know it, he'll hate me for this. Today's Adam's birthday. So happy birthday.
It's his birthday today?
Today is Adam McCauley's birthday. Happy birthday, Adam.
So do we want to sing happy birthday to him?
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Adam.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Wow, you've got a great voice.
Thank you.
I sound like a cat being rung through the ringer. All right. So shops are coming back to work. I've been talking with, I don't know, 10 shops, a little more, every single day for several weeks. And by the way, happy to talk to you if you guys want to line up a call.
Yeah.
And so what I'm hearing right now is a lot of people reopening, or a lot of people getting orders in. It's not quite the crazy amount of work that, was pre-COVID-19. And a lot of businesses, by the way, were having record sales years before this thing hit. And what I'm hearing is there's a lot of optimism right now. And a good number of the people that I'm talking to really feel that when they get their stride and get back going, it's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
But right now, they're at 25% or 30% of their volume or whatever, and they're breaking even, or they're getting back, and they're struggling with employees who don't want to work. That seems to be a big issue right now, where employees just got paid $600 a week more than ever, and they don't feel like they need to be working. That seems to be a common theme right now.
You can make that happen where they don't work anymore.
Yeah. Well, like if you brought people back to work, they have to work, right? Yeah. And if they fire them, then they're not eligible for unemployment anymore.
Right.
So I think it's just really who do you let on your team? And this is what we're seeing more than anything is people are being selective. So let's just say, for discussion math, you had 20 people in your shop, and right now you're bringing back 6. Right? You're bringing back your 6 top people, right? But let's say one of them just doesn't really want to work. Okay, well, you've got 14 more that you can pick from, right?
Or he's that one employee that's negative as can be.
We don't need negativity. We need optimism. We need people who really want to work. We need people that really want to do a good job. And I get to use my favorite quote ever. Do you know what it is?
You have so many of them.
It's not what you preach, it's what you tolerate.
Yeah.
So everything comes down to, in leadership, it's about what you put up with. So if you put up with negative people, if you put up with slackers, if you put up with people that are late or always on their cell phone, or let the spaghetti explode in the microwave, it's not their fault. It's your fault because you put up with it. Right? So I'm just going to throw this out there that this is a leadership challenge, right? You get what you tolerate. So if you don't want that stuff, then don't tolerate it. Absolutely. Right? It's not your fault that guy's a jackass, right?
You've just put up with it.
You just put up with it.
So what are you seeing back to work, Marshall? I've talked to some that are operating. One is a very large shop in Ohio. He only has about 10 people, but the owner and I were talking. He says, you know what? It's back to basics. Stay profitable. And that's what they're doing. Then there's other guys going, yeah, man, I don't have all my people back. I'm printing, but I'm still doing all right. I'm making profits. So
yeah. So the shops that are working right now. Hey, Ron, he did something.
That was a cough. That wasn't a sneeze. That was a COVID cough. Yeah.
The shops that are open right now, right? What are they working on? They're working on orders that are just coming in. They've found some areas that seems to be working. And a lot of the work right now, I think there's a couple sectors. The promo industry is coming back. So if you're a contract printer, you're doing stuff for people because their clients are right now reaching out to their customers with apparel or masks or bandanas or some sort of something that they're doing. They're doing that Remember Me program. They're trying to build their community and keep their community going. Maybe they're a rock band and they're having a virtual concerts. They're still selling the merch, right? You were talking about that before the call, Alan.
Yeah, another company. They do a lot of the music industry. I thought they'd be going, oh my gosh, I don't know what they're doing. He said, they do a lot of events. They've gotten a lot of that merch back from tourists, but their online stores, bands are being proactive. They're doing Zoom concerts, and he said, we're doing all right.
Yeah, right. So So, and then the other thing is service industry. So anybody that does any type of apparel for a hospital, for a cleaning service, for people that are, the essentials, right? The essential industries, right? They're actually putting employees to work. They're actually hiring people. They've got so much work. If you're doing workwear, staff stuff, like you've got work right now, right? Yeah. Or you should be going after that. So I hear that from multiple people. So it's a very common thing right now. So if any of those things are in your area, I would be looking at that. If you were doing like athletic stuff and you're looking to pivot, right? You're trying to find work. I would look in those areas just to see, what's around you. Look in your LinkedIn contacts. Maybe people, Chamber of Commerce, any type of networking thing. And then what I would be doing is calling them up and saying, hey, I'm open. How can I help you? Right? And have some ideas already teed up. And I think you can be getting some business right now. But what you're going to have to do is, and everybody I've talked to, they're going after the work. Nobody is sitting there waiting for the phone to ring.
Yeah, right? You got to go after it. And and it's not just cheap stuff. While people are watching cash, and cash is king still and will be for a while, and it always should be. Again, a guy in Ohio, he said, man, he got an order from a yacht club he's done a little bit with. High-end stuff. We're talking vapor apparel. He made great profit on it. He was shocked. People are starting to get out. They're going on their boat. They're doing that. Here in Michigan, while we are locked down like nobody's business still, lawn care, real estate agents, construction is all back. Manufacturing comes back in a week. So things are moving. So you got to be moving. You can't, if you're waiting for it to come to you, we'll miss you.
Yeah. So just think about how your customers, how your customers right now are going to reopen. What are they going to need? Are they going to need brand new aprons, shirts, polos, masks, if you're in the mask game, right? That's another topic. But, what are they going to need? Hats. Maybe there is a new thing that you need. I was talking with a shop Wednesday in, believe it or not, Cork, Ireland. I had a call. And they're 5,000 ordered quantities of pop high-vis safety vests.
Yeah.
And they can't print them fast enough. And where are they using these? When they do the testing facilities and the parking lots and that stuff in hospitals and stuff. This is what they're wearing to identify that they're a part of that group and team. Okay. Mm-hmm. So how can you right now take advantage of this? You can look to see what's going on in your area, who's opening up, who's still open, what are they going to need? Anticipate that. Yep. Have your packages, have your bundles, right? Don't sell 10 shirts, sell 150 shirts, right? These are the quantities, right? Lead with quantity. I know you're going to need these. You're going to be hiring people. It's going to get dirty. Let's go ahead and make a bulk purchase right now. Remember, it's pay up front because we're not a bank. But there's plenty of opportunity right now. But you got to be doing it. You can't just wait, right? Yeah. So
the whole package, whether it be shirts, make sure your promos are in there. Have a mask. If you're printing masks, then do that because, some places are requiring it. So, yeah, you can just add it on. It's easier for them to take things away than add on later.
Yes. All right. So I'm going to throw this back out here because we're not getting many questions. It's just me and Alan talking. So
actually, we got some in there. Can you see
we've got some questions, but I think we can get more.
We can.
It's my challenge for you right now. If you're a viewer, I want you to put your question in, right? So get that sucker in there and let us get some answers. All right. Where are we here? So shops are back to work, right? So what else is going on? And I was kind of saving this for the last 15 minutes, but I guess we'll get to it right now, which is this. Shirt Lab Summit registration opens Monday. So
Yeah, good deal.
if you don't know what this is, you haven't been watching, but that's okay. So Shirt Lab Summit is going to be an online education event that my Shirt Lab partner and I, Tom Rowan, have been putting together. We've been working on this thing for, 6 weeks. And this is 33 speakers. And Alan here is one of them. 33 speakers sharing their knowledge over 3 days. So June 1st through June 3rd is the online event. So day 1, Monday, June 1st, is all about sales. Day 2 is all about marketing. And day 3 is going to be about operations, which is where Alan fits in here, right? It's incredible. So we have some of our previous Shirt Lab Live workshop instructors. They're going to be involved, but we have a whole bunch of new people, and it's 100% free. The registration is going to open on Monday. That's what we've been working so hard on doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, if you go to, let me share the thing. Where is it? shirtlabsummit.com. There's a pre-registration page. The actual real deal is going to open up on Monday. So right now, it's just really our landing page. I really want and highly encourage you guys to participate. It's 100% free. But we have some upgrades and stuff you can get if you're interested in that. But what I really want you guys to know is that there's a lot of really fantastic content. And we've got just a who's who of the industry speaking and talking and doing some things. And you're really going to learn a lot. It's just going to be a really great event. But you need to register to participate. You're going to be hearing a lot about this over the next couple of weeks. So I want you guys to know that. But let's get going with the registration.
I'm gonna have it linked on my page too, so you're welcome to go there. And yeah.
So Alan, why don't you talk about what we talked about on your interview and just give some people a preview?
I knew you were going to say that, and I'm trying to remember. We recorded that 2 months ago.
Yeah, so we talked about screen room stuff. I mean, it was pretty easy, right?
Yeah, it's always screen room stuff. I'm a one-trick pony. No, I'm not. You know, it was a lot what we're talking about here. Let's look at your process. What are you going to do? Not everything's the same out there. You know, you want to look at what causes it. Everybody wants to look for that magic chemical, that magic process, or magic thing that works better. Well, usually it's a process problem. You know, my emulsion remover doesn't work. My stencil is locking in. Well, you know, that's usually symptomatic of something else. You're probably underexposed. So most people don't know that a properly exposed stencil reclaims way better and easier than an underexposed stencil. You can actually lock in your stencil with your stencil remover if you're underexposed. And sometimes people don't know it. They just go, yeah, it's hard to reclaim. And so we've got to look through the processes and do that. I can't remember, did we talk about marketing too? You know, with everybody, and I work for a chemical company. I've done this for 33 years. You know, everybody wants to use buzzwords of biodegradable. You know, biodegradable is nebulous. You know, my desk will biodegrade. My car will biodegrade 10,000 years from now. So that's a nebulous term. You know what you're using, know why you're using it. Don't get caught up with things like water, soy, stuff like that, because they sound good, but you got to know what's in there and how they operate. It always comes down to process. This isn't a gimmick. You know, clean screens in your screen room. I'm going to say this again, and I think I said it there. Your screen room is the most important part of your shop in screen printing. Your reclaiming and your exposure and development and coding. Because without screens, that capital purchase you've made, whether it's a manual, automatic, direct to screen, that big dryer, none of that works without screens. Screens are equipment. Take care of them, and they'll make you money. Ignore it and keep it the gulag in the basement where it's the filthiest place and you put bad employees at, and you'll be unprofitable and they will frustrate you all day long.
It's the keystone to the whole operation.
It is that.
We call it screen printing. There's like the word, there's a word in there that really matters, right?
Screen. Yeah. So, you know, not all products are the same. It's not just, I just do that. And you want to make me nuts after doing this. I still, the worst one was online on a Facebook post, and they were talking about degreasing. And I saw someone said, I use malt vinegar. At that point, I was reaching for a sharp object, going to open my vein, going, 33 years, what am I doing? Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy. If you want to go, watch this. We'll make there's Alan Howe to show. Let's make him crazy. I'm using malt vinegar to degree.
Let's use gasoline or acetone.
I have seen in 33 years more things people have used. Here's the story. I'm in a shop. This is in Southern Ohio, almost to the West Virginia border. They're mixing ink to print on fiber drums. And I go, and they're having this ink flow problem. It's modeling. It's doing all kinds of stuff. And I go, what are you reducing it with? Diesel fuel.
What?
Diesel fuel. Yeah. I'll be leaving now. You're going to catch on fire. I mean, I have seen it all.
Hey, how many miles to the gallon did they get with that?
No, I haven't been back there. And it was a monster, huge company.
Oh my God. Here's, how that happens is because somebody sometime did something way back when and whatever. And that was 3 production managers ago.
Oh, yeah.
Always the way we've always done it. And they never switch. They never research. They never do anything. And it's like nobody knows why they're doing this. It's just this is the way we've always done it. Our heads are full of concrete.
I call it the baby duck syndrome when it comes to degreasing screen. Have you heard this? Have we talked? Did I talk about that? The baby duck syndrome. I see people that, I can degrease with malt vinegar and this and Dawn dishwashing detergent all the time, simple green. And the baby duck syndrome is, well, if it's good for cleaning baby ducks in an oil spill, it must be okay for screens. Well, the problem is that when you look at Dawn dishwashing detergent and things like that, they have products called lanolins and chemicals in them that soften hands. Remember, we're old, the Palmolive one where she's soaking her hand in there. And, she goes, well, my hands get red from washing dishes. Oh, well, mine don't. Yeah, you look great. What do you do? Well, I use Palmolive. And she goes, is it really good? She goes, yeah, you're soaking in it. And, because there's lanolins that allow your hands to stay soft and stuff, and they don't come off. They don't rinse away. If they did, they wouldn't be in there. They'd go down the drain. Well, when you do that to a screen, lanolins don't wash away. They stay on the screen, they build up, and you will have stencil problems. Do not use Dawn dishwashing soap. Just because it's good for baby ducks on TV, it's very cute. I'm glad it works for them. Do not do it on screens.
Yeah, I'm always shocked in this industry because I go to shops just like you, and there's equipment, chemicals, inks, just whatever that's designed for the industry. But you know what? We're not going to use that stuff. We're going to just invent our own, right? And we're going to invest all this time with using the whatever we found at Home Depot or whatever. And then so they struggle and and just because they're trying to save a dime, right? And so it's just crazy to me that it's not about the performance. And if you look at the amount of time and effort and hardship, heartbreak that happens in this industry because we can't do things properly, and it all comes down to: are you using the right equipment? Are you using the tools, the chemicals, the inks, or whatever? And are you doing it properly, the way that the manufacturer has designed it?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, how many shops, they're having issues with their press and they're, hey, where's the owner's manual? Like, man, I don't know. right?
There's an owner's manual. Yeah.
Like, yeah, when's the last time you sharpened your squeegee? What? Like, and they're using the same squeegee rubber they bought that came with the press when they bought it 10 years ago.
That 70 durometer squeegee is now about a durometer of 110.
Right. And they wonder why the things don't work. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not, if I've been to your shop and I've talked to you about this, I'm not trying to poke fun of you. Right. Because sometimes we don't know what we don't know. Right. I'm just saying that there's always a better way to do things. And so there's a proper way of doing something and then there's not. And we're kind of going off on a tangent here, but I think it's really important that we reach out to our supply chain. We reach out to the manufacturers. We do things the way that they were designed for. Right. And you'll have better results. Trust me. So,
and if you want right answers, yeah, we can. The internet's great. We're using it now. But sometimes when you ask a question online, you're just getting people's opinions. Well, I do this, I do this, I do this. And this is where one of my favorite sayings is, listen to people who know. They might not give you the answer you want to hear, but it's probably the right answer. And sometimes, Marshall, the hard part, I love this industry. I love what I do. I like seeing shops, I don't care how big, how small, be successful. But when they have a problem, here is the solution based on fact. No, we've always done it that way, or you're just trying to sell me something. It's hard. It's disheartening.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of in this industry, and I think we're gone a little too far down this road. But where we got 10 minutes left, let's get to some comments.
So sometimes, I have a group of people I put into that don't confuse me with fact. My mind is made up group.
Okay.
Don't be that.
Yeah. Don't let facts sway you.
Yeah. God forbid. Yeah.
So Sam says, is Easiway stocked up with hand sanitizer?
Yes.
And Sarah says, yes, they are.
We are.
So you got your bosses watching you here, Alan.
We have everybody watching, so everybody post nice things about me. So, yeah.
Charles says he's looking forward to Shirt Lab. Thank you so much, Charles.
Charles is the man.
Hey, by the way, we have a Shirt Lab attendees Facebook group, and so when you register for Shirt Lab, if you're not already in that group, you can join it. There's a link there in our event guide that I put together. So just click that button on the event guide and join that group. And during our online event, there's going to be a lot of things happening there. Jack says, shout out here for all your screen printing chemical solutions.
That would be pay up front also.
John here with the name doesn't match the picture wants this. I don't know who that is. So
I don't either.
I bet it's some porno.
Yeah, let's not click that right now.
Yeah, so, I don't know what that is. Peter says, having great stencils and an effective curing system are the bookends of a successful screen printing process.
I agree. One of my 5 fundamental classes, my first 3 points are all on screen and my last one is on curing. So, yeah, absolutely.
So I'm deleting the comment for the potential porno.
Yes.
As much as I'm sure some people would really love to see what John with the wrong picture was posting.
Yeah, I don't know him and you don't know him, so yeah.
All right, we changed our screen reclaim making process after taking a seminar Alan did at SGIA in New Orleans, and it's made a big difference. And,
thank you, Charles. I do remember that. It was SGIA. I met Charles. He's from New Mexico then. And yeah.
One thing I really miss is trade shows, man. I love going to them and hanging out with people, meeting folks. And, both you and I teach classes, and that's always like the best part of the whole thing. And so.
Yeah, it's going to be different. The whole trade show scenario is going to be, we should talk about that one time. What's going to happen? It's just going to be different. I don't think anybody knows. I'm not sure the trade show event people know either. So hang on to your socks. So
right. Keith says, my first shop in 91 in my garage removed ink from my screens with automotive parts tank with actual parts cleaner. Ate my hands up.
I am so sorry, Keith, and unfortunately, there are people in 2020 still doing it. They're in that. Don't confuse me with facts.
Biggest thing that I tell shops is print out tech sheets for all their products. I like to think 9 out of 10 questions they may have can be answered.
Yeah. Sam, on that, I would also say print out the tech sheet, print out the SDS sheet also. They need to have those.
And my man, Donnie Lines.
Donnie Lines works for, oh gosh, I just lost it, the frame company in Chicago.
Yeah.
Good guy.
GSF?
That's it.
Hey, Cherie says Chicago with a shirt. That's awesome.
Shirt Lab Chicago, the Women's Nexus.
Right. So that's going to be June 5th next year. We would love to have had that thing this year. Man, I just bummed out beyond belief that we have to wait. But I think it's the proper thing to do. So we got about 5 minutes left. And I cannot go long today because I have a call right after this thing. So,
hey, on the Women's Nexus, I know you had Christine Shreve on that panel, correct? Going, and we need to give a shout out to Christine. She started her own consulting. So,
I have a call next week with her actually.
Yeah, she's actually listening. I can see her online there. So
good luck, and she's going to do fantastic. I know.
She's incredible. Incredible.
So let's do a couple things here. So if you've got any problems or questions, you need to reach me. Here is my email. I want to hear from you. I want to talk to you. I want to help you. No obligation, nothing. Right. So just give me your shout out. Let me help you. I know you've got some challenges. I'll do a 30-minute call with you. Let's brainstorm. I'm talking with tons of people every single day, maybe in your state. I don't know where you live, but maybe in your state. I'm happy to help you. And then here's Alan's.
You have a question, especially on screens and chemical, give me a shout. But any on your print process, man, let's hold up the phone, go through your shop. Let me know how I can help.
Alan has a couple seminars he does all the time on how to print a better white, or what's your 5-step thing you're always talking about? What is that?
5 fundamentals that it's called 5 fundamentals the pros know, and so should you. The top screen printers know, and so should you.
Right.
So and I believe there's 5 fundamentals that most every screen shop misses most of them in screen printing, and they're not hard to do. It's not a big cost thing. It's just tightening them up.
Hey, we got 3 minutes. Why don't you run through those real quick?
5 fundamentals are proper screen tension, proper coating and drying, proper reclaiming, proper squeegee and flood bar, and proper curing. So the key word is proper. We talk about measurement. If you can't measure it, you can't control it. And so how do you do that?
Yes. So raise your hand if you've got issues with any of those 5 right now.
And you can go to the DAC show, and they actually have a video series, and it's been recorded there that you can go see it.
Oh, great. So what is the link? Do you know?
I don't know. I should know that, shouldn't I?
Hey, after this video ends, why don't you throw that in the comments?
I will. So,
All right. Well, great. I think that's going to wrap it for us. Thank you so much again for watching. I really appreciate your time, and please let me know if I can help you, or if you've got any questions about Shirt Lab, please register for the event on Monday. We want to see you there. It's 100% free. There's no excuse, right, for not getting involved with that.
Yep, absolutely. Shirt Lab's going to be great. I can't wait. I'm honored as always to be part of it. Man, stay safe out there, guys. Get busy. Get out there looking for the business. It is out there.
It is. All right. Good luck. Have a great weekend, everyone. See you.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.